Hey, what's up? It's Coach Hyde. Got another Hyde Science vlog coming at you right now. We're gonna go take a look at this truck right here. 1995 F-150, 5.9 liter four-wheel drive. We're gonna talk about heat though. All right, so we take a look in here, right? You got the motor in this general area. You got this thing right here, okay? It's called the radiator. We're gonna put our antifreeze or our fluid in there. All right, this is a very important part of any car that I'm aware of. The worst thing that happens to a car is if the motor gets too hot. If the motor gets too hot, it ain't gonna work no more. And you're gonna have to spend a lot of money to get it back going. So what saves this, what keeps this from happening, is the radiator, right? So again, I'm trying to point right here. Here we got our radiator, all right? It stretches all this, right? And inside of there, if you look inside, you'll see the coils, and that's where the antifreeze is gonna go through. So what's happening here? A motor gets hot, we need to cool it off. So here's what we're gonna do. The water pump's gonna pump the antifreeze, or pump our water from our radiator into the motor. You see this hose, right? There's another hose that goes into the bottom, right? What this is gonna do, it's gonna push water through our motor. The heat, as we know, flows from hot to cold, high heat to low heat. So when the water goes into the motor, right, the heat from the motor is gonna go into the antifreeze, it's gonna go into our fluid from our radiator. And it's gonna heat it up, it's gonna make that hot, right? So then it's gonna come out, and it's gonna go into the radiator, right? And that's where these coils come into effect, right? So as the fluid goes through the coils, the air flows through it and it cools it off, because the heat goes from the liquid in the radiator into the air outside and it cools it off. So then we cool the water off, and it's gonna go back into the motor. It's gonna absorb the heat from that motor, right? Hot to cold, back into the fluid, back into the radiator, right? It's gonna cool off in there as the air goes in, right? Can't see my hand as the air goes in. It's gonna cool it off, back into the motor. It's gonna absorb more heat from the motor. Hot to cold. This is a heat transfer. See you later.